Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Hopefully you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about communication skills. As you know that communication is one of the significant factor in this time period in today's 21st century. The skills that we have before us that allow us to strive and thrive. These skills consist of various sub skills or the patterns which could engage or involve learning skills, critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. Similarly, literary skills and life skills are other skills. So, in today's modern world, we have to follow these learning skills, which are called as four C's: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. So, communication is one of the essential factor in today's modern world. Whatever we do, whatever we perform, the business as usual or the business of life, without communication, we stand nowhere. Our chances of success are nowhere. If it is interview or if it is normal day-to-day conversation. So our communication is one such significant factor that allow us to gain or attain whatever we have in our mind. So what is communication? Basically, as you can see, communication is a process of sending and receiving messages. It is effective when people understand each other, stimulate others to take action, encourage others to think in new ways. So these are the most important factors or the key factors of communication when we are able to understand each other or stimulate each other as a result of inspiration or motivation or encourage others to think in new ways in creative manners. So there are various organizational benefits of having good communication, such as it increases productivity. We, at the start or before starting any task, any assignment, any work, or any teamwork, we can anticipate the problems that could arise before us. We could make decisions, we could coordinate workflow, we could supervise other, we could develop relationships, we could promote our products, we could shape impressions, we could understand the needs of the stakeholders, we could understand the need of all those important people or the significant individuals who are the part and parcel of our organization. So these are the organizational benefits that we have as a result of effective communication. So it is in a way you could see that how it helps us, because nowadays we are living in a virtual world, or we are thriving in a world that is digital. So here the internet speed matters. So with this changing internet speed, starting from 2G, 3G, 4G, and now we are in the era of 5G, where we have to engage with the culturally diverse workforce, where we have to engage with the global citizens coming from various distinct cultural backgrounds, various diverse ethnic backgrounds, or various diverse national background or regional background. So these we live in a world which is very much diverse from one part of the world For instance, if someone is Pakistani, he or she has to interact with someone from Africa, with someone from Arabia, with someone from Middle East, or with someone from European background or American background. So we have to work nowadays with culturally distinct and diverse workflow because of the age of information that we are living in. That is why we have to follow team based groups. We have to be united. We have to follow the structure and the pattern of collaboration where we have to work as a team in order to achieve the goal. So, where here we could also see that how communication as a network within an organization follows downward pattern, which starts from the highest level and goes to the lowest level, or it starts from the lowest level and goes to the highest level. For instance, if you are working in a university, so you know that the university is governed by the chancellor, who happens to be the president or governor. In case of province, if it is national university, it could be the president, and then there is VC, then there are deans, then there are directors, and then there are heads, or then there are coordinators, and then there is faculty member and the students and the other staff member, clerical staff, and the other essential members who have to follow. So whatever the pattern of the organization is, so we have to work both downward and upward. And similarly, there is also horizontal communication from department to department, such as within an organization or within an educational institute or a university. In a university, as you can see, that the communication could take place between department to department, between one department and another department, between one faculty and another faculty, and between the VC office, or between the registrar office or the dean's office. So here this communication goes simultaneously from one pattern to another pattern, from one side to another side. So these communications also take place from various levels, from top managers to low level managers, from supervisors to the staff, or vice versa. So communication also takes place at various level, as you could see in the chart before you. So here communication, like, you have to follow the weekly accident report from the line supervisor to the personal manager, or memo from memorandum from department supervisor to the staff manager. As you know that the memo is a kind of unofficial communication within the organization, whereas the official communication outside the organization would be in the form of the letter. So meeting between marketing team and the production team. So various types of structures of communication are involved. For instance, if you're working in a company, so you have to be in communication with various other stakeholders, such as customers, such as investors, journalists, community representatives, competitors, distributors, and vendors who are going to take your product to the market. So this is the structure of external communication, whereas previously we saw the structure of internal communication, where we saw downward, upward, and horizontal communication from one pattern, from one person, from one group, from one department to another department. Outside communication, you could see that there are formal statements, there are press statements, there are investor letters, there are advertisements, price changes, litigation updates, usually prepared by the marketing or the public relation team. Informal communication, employees create an impression of the organization and gain information when they interact or network with outside world. So information is formal as well as informal. It could take place in both manners. So we have to be very much prepared in both the cases, whether we are writing or whether we are speaking formally or informally. In both ways, we are following the process of communication and we are creating the organization's impression upon the stakeholders or upon the people who matter to us the most. So sender has an idea, sender encodes the idea, sender transmits the idea, receiver gets the idea, receiver decodes the message, and receiver gives the feedback. So it is in a way a complete cycle from one person to another person where the whole information from sending message to receiving feedback takes place. So example of the communication barriers, which we would talk at length in another session, as you could see that there are various distractions, restrictive environment, perceptual differences, deceptive tactics. So these would be the barriers which could be overcome at within the organization by following various ways. So improve communication by evaluating responses to your message, change your approach by choosing another medium, or by reworking your message. So we could follow various different tactics and techniques to avoid all those communication barriers. So we have to stay within this particular zone where we are perceptive, where we are in control, where we are congenial, where we are precise and to the point. So we have to see that these are the traits of good communication which allow us to take everything in control. So guidance to becoming a good communicator: adopt an audience centered approach where audience is the center of the approach. We have to foster open communication, then create clean, efficient messages, be ethical in your approach or in your communication. So we have to follow morality and ethical approach so that other people could trust us or other people could allow us to build the confidence, and we could build the confidence with our customers, with our students, with our stakeholders. So always make your message meaningful to your audience. Learn all you can about your audience. Use common sense and imagination to project yourself into audience's position. So communication follows a climate of open communication where we see modification as far as the number of organizational levels are involved, or we facilitate feedback as well. Then we learn efficient messages. We give examples how we could use each of the following, like reduce messages, minimize restriction, and use technology responsibly. So we have to be very brief, very to the point, as you know that in the business world or in normal today's world, nobody has spare time. So everyone is so much engrossed and busy in their own affairs. So we have to follow our communication and we have to make it as minimal as possible, and the messages could be like to the point, and then distraction should be avoided, and technology has to be used very efficiently in order to control whatever is there. Ethics are very important. Ethics are those principles that conduct or govern a person or a group. So ethics include is these types of communication, all the relevant information that is true in every sense and is not deceptive in any way. So we have to be very much credible, we have to be very much responsible, and we have to build all that whatever is essential, and so that our credibility and efficiency is not compromised. And then we have to commit to the ethical communication, and then after following the ethics, then we could be able to understand that how our communication follows various patterns, and here this is the test which we could use in order to see that whether whatever the communication we communicated is efficient or not. So we could see that how in this 21st century communication as a medium, as a means of building the relationship or building the confidence with the people who are engaged with you, and those people could make sure that how you achieve your goals and targets in the right direction. So thank you for your patience and for your listening.